Welcome back to another video. I am the Backyard Buddha, and I help PACE members, that's people pleasers, anxiously attached, codependents, and empaths, master their energy so they can attract incredible relationships. In this lovely video slash podcast, shout out to the podcast listeners. What's going on, guys? In this podcast episode video thing, I'm going to share with you some really powerful mindset shifts to make losing somebody because you are too much for them like very acceptable, and not only acceptable, but actually a very rewarding experience. This video podcast pairs very well with my last video podcast I did, which was entitled, as I pull the name up because I can't remember off the top of my head, Why They're Losing Interest in You. That's what that's called. So I got my handy dandy virtual notebook here to keep me on track with my notes. I'm just going to go through some bullet points. And this is good for you if you just lost somebody because you're too much for them. You pushed them away because you were too needy, too desperate, you wanted them too much, or you were too insecure. Or if you're currently seeing somebody, dating somebody, in a relationship with somebody, and you're feeling that, like, I really want them, I can't stop thinking about them, or, wanting physical intimacy or experiencing the physical intimacy, or you feel really insecure about them suddenly losing interest in you, this video podcast is going to do wonders for you. Okay. So, number one, let's say they do leave. Let's say you're too much for them, you push them away. This is a great opportunity to affirm compassion for your healing journey. If you're too much for them, or you try to be too much, try to do too much, which pushes them away. What do I mean by affirming compassion for yourself? Your trauma is not your fault. It is not your fault that you are this way, that you are needy, that you are desperate, that you're starving for love and attention. You are somebody that is hurting. You are somebody that's been through a tremendous amount of neglect, of abuse, of abandonment, of pain, of hurt, specifically by those that were supposed to give you love and safety. So that's an amazing window into developing compassion for yourself and raising your self-esteem. Because let's say you push them away, boom, you're not the one that pushed them away. Do you see how we say, like, I pushed them away? It's almost like a form of subtly judging and shaming yourself. I did it. I'm the one always fucking up. It's my fault. I'm too much. God, it's like I have this fucking broken thing I gotta drag with me everywhere in life, into all my relationships, and it just never works how I want it to. You see how that's a way to attack yourself? But instead, if we just reframe that to, I was too much for them. Get back in focus here. I was too much for them because I'm hurting. And that's not my fault. It's not my fault I pushed them away. I'm doing my best. You're doing your best. Even if you're not actively like working on yourself, because maybe you don't know. Maybe you aren't ready for therapy. Maybe you have no idea, the concepts I talk about in my videos, state management, belief work, right? Exploring your traumas, triggers, limiting beliefs, TTL. But you're listening to this podcast. So there's at some level a part of you that desires to feel better. And that you already love yourself. Newsflash, you already love yourself. The very fact you're doing that implies and affirms the fact that you already love yourself. Like, you are not your pain. You are not your patterns. You're what's underneath the pain and patterns. That's just love. That's just worthiness. That's just an amazing fucking person. So if someone goes down into the deepest depths of you, and they're like, this is crazy. It's way too intense. It's a lot. I don't want to deal with this. They're not saying you're too much. I mean, they are saying you are too much. We'll get to another point about that specifically. But what I'm saying is, it's not your fault that you're too much. It's your trauma, it's your parents, it's your environment, it's your upbringing. But you're on this path of healing yourself. You're on this path of taking care of yourself. Now I'm walking right there alongside you. So it's not your fault. You're doing your best, period. So it's not your fault. That's how we remove that barb of like self-judgment, self-attack, shame. Next, keep in mind that you're going to attract people that see and love all of you. The pain, you underneath the pain, the real you underneath the pain, and everything in between. And these people are going to be a safe space for you to gush. What do I mean when I say gush? That's when you're like you feel so much love for them, so much affection, attraction that you can't stop texting them, talking to them, telling them you're so great, you're so amazing. You're just basically gushing, right? You're like fangirling over them. Now, to most people, that's going to be a major turnoff because you're just wanting too much and you're not self-sufficient in your own emotions and energy field and nervous system. You're not self-regulated. You're basically saying, I need you to regulate my emotions for me. But you will have relationships and people that, whoops, that are excited to do that because they love you, because they see you and they love you, and they're just your people. This applies both to romantic, but also platonic relationships. They're just safe spaces. They're like, yeah, you can be messy, you can be crazy, you can be intense. I don't give a fuck. I love you. And that's gonna be a really odd experience because what it's gonna allow you to do, and a beautiful experience as well, what's gonna allow you to do is just gush, 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 gush. And then once you realize in the context of that relationship, hey, I'm not being abandoned. I'm not being too much. Because it's almost like a defense mechanism you're gushing without you realizing it, right? It's like the frog that's coated in poison. You gush almost as a way to like test to see, am I going to overwhelm you? Can you handle all of this intense energy? Now, the more you heal, the more you don't need to do that because you're feeling so good in your body. So as time goes on and you heal more and more, you're just having to do less, showcase less interest, and just have fun. Just share good energy, teasing, banter, flirting. It's not so much of this like emotional vomit, like dumping on the other person. But in those relationships, it's a great opportunity to just play that pattern out and just exhaust it and have it go, oh, we're actually safe to gush here. And then you kind of just like, like a breath of fresh air, like, a sigh of relief. Oh man, like now I can just chill. I can just relax because I didn't drive this person away. I didn't push them away. And then once like your nervous system can sense that, right? That pattern, that wounded part of your inner child senses that, oh, they're not going anywhere. You just have like a radical kind of transformation and healing that takes place because the pattern can't survive anymore because it's being met with safety, right? It's what your parents were supposed to fucking do, but they didn't. Luckily, we have really amazing people on this planet. Your people. I like to refer to them as like my soul tribe. It's like if they're your people, they're going to give you safety and let you like help you co-regulate. That's healthy. That's healthy and very beautiful. So you're going to have those. That's not so much like how to get over it, but I just want you to keep that in mind and acknowledge it when it happens. And know that like I've had several, few different relationships like that. I have one of them right now actually, and it's awesome. Okay, so that's coming. I want to give you a little bit of hope as well. Okay, next. You deserve somebody you don't have to constantly perform for. If you're really too much for them, then good. That's a connection that isn't healthy for you, no matter how good it feels. It's an overdose. So think about this for a second. Let's say you are too much for them. That's great, because it means that it wasn't healthy to begin with. It doesn't matter how fucking amazing it was, how great the connection was, how great the sex was, whatever. Obviously, it was an overdose. If just take cannabis, for instance. You can have a small dose of cannabis, either be an edible or like flower, and have a nice time. And some people, like myself, if they get a heavy dose, we think we're gonna have a heart attack. And I remember one time I got so fucking I overdosed so much on cannabis that I thought this is probably linked to like the trauma I had when I was 10. I had my the right side of my face ripped off by a fucking half pit bull, half chow. But I got so paranoid that the place I was living with, we had these two dogs, the nicest dogs ever, by the way. And they hadn't eaten in like a day or two or something like that because it was just the end of the month. We didn't have money for dog food yet. Um, so because they hadn't eaten like a day or even maybe like a half a day or a day and a half, something like that, I uh I remember there was a we broke our window, our kitchen window, so they could actually hop through. So I remember getting this entire loaf of bread and I cracked the sliding door and I like fed them bread because I thought they were gonna like bust through the window and eat me because they hadn't eaten in a day. That's how paranoid when I had the overdose of cannabis, how paranoid it made me. So in a similar fashion, you can overdose on people. And this is a great opportunity to recognize, hey, like this isn't healthy for me. This is an overdose. And you have the power to say no, to reject them because you know what? This might not be great for me. If I can't get a handle on this, if I can't really use this to elevate, to transform, I can say no to this experience. That's taking your power back. You can say no. You can actually walk away. You can fire this person from your life because it is unhealthy. It's too much. It's too overstimulating for your really, really sensitive, recovering, hurting nervous system. And you know what? The right people for you at this particular stage in your journey, your healing journey, they're not going to be overwhelming. They're going to be supportive. They're going to be inviting. They're going to be uplifting. They're going to be and feel very safe. They're going to be relieving, relaxing for your nervous system. And or be a safe space where it's like, yeah, the feeling might not be going anywhere, kind of back to our previous point, but they're not going anywhere either. So it's like, keep feeling that way. Keep gushing. Keep feeling insecure. I'm not going anywhere. And eventually that pattern is just going to burn itself out. It's just going to get tired. It's like taking a scared, feral like alley cat that's been, starved and abused and it's just like hissing at any fucking little movement, like attacking, clawing. But over time, you feed it that like little, you know, stick of wet that's like looks like a cat go-gurt basically. You feed a little bit of that and just slowly condition its nervous system that hey, you're safe, you're safe. It's all good now. You're out of that really toxic, horrible situation. Yeah, of course, like 70% of the healing journey, you're going to be doing that for yourself, right? That's what I work with my clients on cultivating and developing an amazing relationship with yourself, working on your TTL, traumas, triggers, limiting beliefs, and state management, pumping your state, grooming yourself energetically, emotionally, feeling good, putting yourself in a really good place, really good state. But the other 30% of your healing journey is going to be taking place in relationships where you're either being triggered and using that as an amazing way to look at and explore your blind spots or the things that aren't normally activated. Relationships are great for that, but also to be safe spaces to play these patterns out, to receive love, to receive the safety, and just like have these big boosts in your healing because the other person's helping you co-regulate. So take your power back by just acknowledging, even if you can't yet, even if you're too addicted and you can't yet step away, just acknowledging to yourself, hey, but I could. That option is there. I could remove this person because I recognize that they're unhealthy. And as a way of making it easier, also realize the fact that this trauma is not your fault. There's nothing wrong with you. You're great at your core. You are underneath all this pain and trauma. It's like a house that's collapsed upon you and people are walking by and they don't realize that you can't even like shout for help because you're just being crushed by all of this like emotional, these emotional fucking bricks and cement and shit, debris. But at your core, you're still you. Okay. So it's like be nice to yourself by removing this person and hold space for people that are not going to be overwhelming, are not going to be overstimulating because you deserve those people. And again, if you're feeling overwhelmed, but they're not going anywhere, you're not actually pushing them away, that's great too, because that energy is like dissipating simply by being in their presence, both virtually and physically. Next, I guess to an extent, I'm kind of doing that with you as well right now. I'm helping you co-regulate. Next, do what's good for you and what you feel inspired to do regarding them. And if your natural state, taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself is too much for them, this kind of goes along with if you like lack the energy, let's say, to be playful or flirty or talk to them and show up with like good energy, taking care of yourself, maybe that involves quite a chunk of time where you're not texting them, you're not talking to them. And that can feel like, oh, what if I disappoint them? What if they lose interest in me? Awesome. Again, awesome. Like, first and foremost, you need to be taking care of yourself. So if you taking care of yourself and tending to yourself is causing them to get bored or to lose interest, that's not your that's aren't those aren't your people. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I don't hear from you for 3 days and you've been like taking time for yourself and working on yourself and healing and working through shit, and then you come back 3 days later, incredible. Like I'm gonna be nothing but rejoice for you. Similarly, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and they don't text me for the whole day, maybe even till the next day or just later that day, right? But like many, many hours have passed since any communication, like no good morning text, none of that shit. And they're like, yeah, I was just going through a lot and had to work through some stuff. Totally understanding. Totally understanding. You didn't have the energy for that. If they can't be empathetic for the fact that you have an emotional house collapsed upon you and you are doing your best to extradite yourself from this heavy fucking crushing burden, emotional burden that you've been dropped onto you, that you had no choice whatsoever in, no say in the matter, then that was my Bluetooth speaker turning off. Then like fuck them. Which brings us to the last point. Realize that tending to your own energy, managing your own state, healing and transforming and alchemizing and supporting your own TTL, triggers, traumas, limiting beliefs, is way, way, way more addictive than they could ever be. Because you don't have control over when they text you. You don't have control over when you're physically intimate, even if they really, really want to be physically intimate. You can't see them all the time and you run out of energy. You can't just do it all day long every day. You know what you do have control over, though? Your own focus, your own self-esteem. And what is that? In the previous video, I touched on this. Self-esteem is how much you care about making yourself feel good versus being attached to and depending on something or someone else to make you feel good. Be it finally getting that client or a cool jacket or their attention or physical intimacy, a job, good news, whatever. The next hit of dopamine from a TikTok, the next 5 episodes of a show. Your self esteem is directly correlated with how much you care about making yourself feel good versus being addicted to and depending on other people and things making you feel good. That's fucking exciting shit right there. Because we're kind of like addicts, right? For love and attention and just good energy in general. We're like, our thing isn't heroin. It's like, give me attention. Give me praise, damn it. And like that's how we get high. So from one addict to another, I'm basically giving you like the best shit ever, okay? It's the most potent shit ever, and you have an infinite amount of it, okay? I just gave you Keys to the kingdom. Your own focus. You can control when you make yourself feel good. And that is a skill set that you perfect and elevate over time by practicing it. It's a muscle. You use it. The more you use it, the bigger that muscle gets. And I want to throw in a last little thing here. I made another video podcast called "How to Validate Your How to Validate Yourself," excuse me, which was really good. Has some great stuff about self-esteem, and I'd like to touch on that here because that also really plays into this as well. I want you to get a either a journal or like notes application on your phone, and I want you to title it "My Self-Esteem," let's say. And I want you to find things that no matter how you're feeling, what time of day it is, if you were to think about this thing, it would make you feel good about yourself. And I want to just read you some of mine to give you some examples here, okay? So that you can create your own. You can also take these if they resonate as well. So I'm really proud of myself for accepting myself and working to heal every day. I'm I'm healing. That's so big. I'm not engaging in passive suicide anymore. I'm not disassociating. I'm not escaping. I'm not hurting myself, at least as much as in the past, right? My version of that probably looks differently. It might be like watching a few too many YouTube videos or playing like a couple rounds extra longer than I should have. But that's decreasing of a video game, but that's decreasing more and more over time. It used to be cutting myself, drinking, smoking cigarettes. I think I still binge eat a little bit as I look at this keto chocolate bar, protein bar over here. But like every day, you know, like I disassociate 1% less, care more about how I feel 1% more, work through a little bit more every single fucking day. And that shit adds up. I used to think transformation and healing was like these big, huge jumps. And like, I guess they can occur, but that's not like the day to day, occurrence. You just make a little bit of progress. You feel a little bit better. You feel the best you can day to day. And then the shit gradually gets better. You gradually disassociate less and less. So I'm working on myself. I'm so proud of myself for having survived and endured all of that trauma, getting through that. It wasn't my fault. I was just this, innocent fucking boy that just needed fucking love and attention and safety and praise so he could develop a healthy, sense of self, self-concept, healthy self-esteem, confidence. Could have had a completely different life. That's not my fault. It's not your fault. It doesn't matter how the fuck I'm feeling. It doesn't matter where I'm at, what time of day. If I look at that and I remind myself of that, I'm gonna feel really fucking good about myself. I almost want to kind of cry about it just thinking about it right now. Like I'm so proud of myself. I have so much compassion and love for myself for having gotten through that, survived that, and not let that crush me, even though it did many, many times. It did crush me. It did consume me. It did swallow me whole. It did devour my whole fucking like soul and existence. And every time I pulled myself out. And I haven't been back to that extremely dark place since. I've really detached from that level of disassociation and depression, suicidal ideation, addiction. I'm really proud of myself. And no one will ever take that away from me. And no relationship will ever give me enough pleasure or attention to equate to that. I'm too numb. I can't even shed tears right now, but, because I'm still healing. But they're behind the eyes, rest assured. Um, I have BPD as a result of the trauma, borderline personality disorder. I also have chronic health issues that result of getting syphilis, almost dying, taking a year and a half to recover from that. I was literally bedridden for a year and a half. And I deal with the effects of both of those things every day. So I'm like one of the strongest people that I know. I'm really proud of myself for enduring that every day. All the symptoms, be it brain fog, weakness, fatigue, how it impacted my diet, just so much shit. No one will ever know. I could maybe talk about it, but no one will ever really know what that's like unless you're going through something similar. And, but I know, right? I know what I go through every day. Incredible. I'm a fucking hero. Yeah, just incredible. So fucking strong. Shattering generational curses, because this isn't just my burden. This is whole whole bloodline of codependency, abuse, narcissism. And I am saying no. No, you don't get to keep going. That hurt ends with me. Whew, what an emotional episode. Uh, Using my pain as healing and transformation for others, thus making the world a better place with my self-empowerment. So not only am I saying fuck you to a generational bloodline of trauma, but I'm also using that fuck you to help other people break away from their generational trauma, as well as master their energy, feel amazing, and get the relationships and quality of life that they deserve because they've been through hell. And that was never their choice. That was never their decision. That got thrust upon them. Here's one. It's a little bit challenging to sync up to because it's easier to find things that if you had to like sacrifice or get through, right? Work on, it's easier to feel worthy about that. But this one, which makes this one kind of challenging because you don't have to work at all for this one. It's just you, just it's just given to you. But you're a unique stamp or blend of consciousness that will never exist again. Your style, expression, your perspective, no, literally none like you. It's one of a kind, priceless, will never happen again. Not in the rest of history, time, space, all that shit. You will never excuse me, again, and no one like you will exist again. I mean, like you, but not exactly like you. You're one of a kind. And that particular vibrational signature, that consciousness, blend of consciousness, there's just so many like creative things that comes from that, as well as just the experience of your personality, your humor, your joy, your happiness, creativity, your insight, your wisdom, just how you see things that no one else can see in the same way. The sharing of you being here, being alive, being with all of us is such a gift. It's such a blessing. It's so fucking cool. It's like a $10 million piece of art. You're just like, wow, look at that shit. And the more you're loved, the more you love yourself, the more you heal, the brighter all that shit just gets. So at your core, even if you're awkward as fuck, too much, too intense, too needy, too desperate, you feel too ugly, too overweight, too skinny, whatever your insecurities and perceived flaws are, at the end of the day, you don't have a healthy self-concept because of your parents. And the more you heal, the better you feel about yourself, the more incredible you'll become. I'm calling that the law of investment. The more love you receive, the brighter you shine. Because you are love, because you are fucking amazing, because you are perfect. Like, if you're a seed and you get water and soil, nutrition, right, aka emotional safety, What does the seed eventually grow up into? A badass fucking huge red oak tree in this specific example. But that the oak tree was still an oak tree as a seed. It just needed water, and the more water and soil it got, the more it could expand and grow. So you're the red oak right now, even if you're a mess, even if you're just like, oh my God, train wreck. That's not you. You're underneath that pain. You're underneath that trauma. You're underneath that mansion, that fucking mansion that's collapsed upon you, right on top of you, just crushing you. How about the how about all the people I helped get through horrible marriages, toxic relationships, situations, helping them feel better about themselves? Like, yeah, their generational curse is awesome, but like I help people. Like I feel proud about that. How about the experience people get around me? I'm really kind, happy, very uplifting person, very focused on generating positivity, having fun, laughing a lot. I'm very compassionate, very emotionally intelligent. I'm great in bed, super fucking funny, pretty smart. There's a couple more I can't really say, on camera. It's a little spicy. It's just for me. There you go. Make one of those. Use mine if they resonate. And just make your Frankenstein version of that, right? Use some of the shit I just gave you, make your own. But the goal with this is that you can look at this any time of day. Doesn't matter what you're feeling, what's going on, and you can just start to feel good about yourself. So when you're feeling needy, when you're feeling too much, when you're feeling like you're losing them, if you did lose them, go back to that. That's your anchor. That's your North Star. And then build around that with state management, exploring and healing, taking care of your TTL, triggers, traumas, limiting beliefs, developing a social circle that you really enjoy, you have fun with, activities, hobbies you enjoy, both socially and also just by yourself, right? I like to play Hunt Showdown. It's a PC game, really fun. I like to watch movies, shows, play guitar. Just making your world really cool to live in, working at that. It's like clay. You don't make the masterpiece one touch. Gotta gotta work at it. Gotta mold it. Right. And then you stop, take breaks, reassess. Okay, the ear needs a little bit of work here. All right. Da, da, da. Oh, the chin's a little off. That's it. And you're doing great. You don't get told that enough, but you're doing really great. I'm really proud of you, and I see you, and I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. I love you so much. I really hope everything I talked about here healed some things, shifted some things, gave you some really good tools. If you want to dive deeper, I have a coaching program where I work with people one on one that I'd love to invite you to. You can tap the link in the description below. That'll take you to this little landing page where you can watch a video that tells you a little bit about the call that you can book with me for free, what to expect on that call. There's testimonials on that page. There's a little about me section. It's pretty cool. So go check that out if you want to work with me and get some more support so we can start giving you even more mindset shifts like the ones you experienced in this video, more tools to manage your state so that you're focusing yourself into a state of feeling better versus disassociating or being addicted, attached to, and chasing other people and things to make you feel good, like getting that under your control so that you're in charge of making yourself feel good. And you can do that whenever you want. And you got so many cool tools to do so. And also looking at your triggers, traumas, and limiting beliefs, the reoccurring patterns and feelings that keep continuing to come up and surface for you and get activated. I want to go into those things with you, shift them, remove them, transform them so that you can feel amazing and no longer have them weigh you down, right? I really want to help you take some big chunks and pieces of that emotional debris, pull it off of you so you can breathe better again, feel better again, and after we get done working together, you have tools to continue to remove stuff for yourself and just continue to get better and better and better as time progresses and moves on. Thank you so much for watching this video. Really happy to sit down with you here and just talk about these things. And thanks for being open to it, by the way. Thanks for being on this journey in the first place. Thanks for not giving up on yourself. Thanks for not imploding. Thanks for doing the work. It's not your fault. You should have never been in this position in the first place. And that just makes me even more proud of you for the fact that you're doing it. So I love you so much. Please like the video on the way out. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And leave a comment if something stuck out to you, something resonated. If you want to tell me something or ask me something, I'd love to engage with you in the comment section. Okay. Goodbye for now. I'll see you in the next one.